Over the years here at Survival on Purpose, we have looked at several different options for having a way to potentially improve your self-defense capabilities in a non-permissive environment. One of the most popular videos I've made on that topic had to do with non-metallic weapons, such as this push dagger from Cold Steel and some others. But those things are great for some locations, but they all have a drawback. They're actual weapons. They're not going to make it through TSA. They're not going to go to a lot of places. If you have to go, if you get caught with them, you're going to be in big trouble. So one of the things that was popular for a while and I hate the term they were calling tactical pins, basically using a pin that was strong enough to use as a defensive tool if necessary. And man, they came out with some doozies, I'll say that. So many of them, most of them I've looked at, just had too many flaws one way or another. Bottom line, I've never really completed my search for the absolute perfect non-tactical pin, we'll call it that. In today's video, I may have found it. We're going to take a look at, and you tell me what you think. We're going to take a look at the Excess Sights Bolt Action EDC pin, made in America, coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me for today's video, where, as I said, we're going to take another look at tactical pins. I don't even like that term. I'm just going to call them EDC pins from now on. How about that? Like I said, we looked at several of them. I've got some examples of some ones we looked at in the past, and kind of to show you what I think is wrong, some of the flaws that some of them have. And then I've got this one from Excess Sights. And they were kind enough to send me this so I can show it to you to see how it compares. But first, as always, today's words of wisdom from the Bible. Today's wisdom is from Proverbs 25, verse 28 in the NLT translation. A man who cannot rule his own spirit is like a city whose walls are broken down. Self-control. So, you may have guessed that today's video is sponsored by my friends at Excess Sights, the fastest sight in any light. Excess Sights are the only sight that I trust my life to on any pistol that I carry to defend myself and my family, and have done so for years. I was a customer for Excess Sights years before they were a sponsor. I'm really happy to have them as a channel sponsor now. Excess Sights are made in the USA in Texas, and they are absolutely, like I said, not just the fastest sights in any light, but the only sights I trust my life to. And look right there. That's all I'm going to say. So let's talk real quickly, revisit this whole, one more time, the only time I'm going to say this, tactical pin phenomenon that came out. And it's kind of faded out, to be honest with you, but for a while there, man, everybody in the world was putting out a pin calling it tactical. We're going to call them EDC pins. Basically, what I like about the concept is that a pin is something I use every day. I've usually got a pen on me. I have to write notes and sign things and do things. So it's good to have a pen. And if you're going to carry a pen every day, why not have something that's also maybe functional as a tool to enhance your self-defense capabilities if necessary. Hopefully that's not necessary. But so anyway, that seemed like a good idea, because you're going to have a pen, right? And I think I first saw this on a video from Jason Hansen, maybe CIA guy who came out with a lot of internet stuff. So I reviewed a bunch of pens, bottom line. I'll quit rambling. And I'm just going to tell you some of the drawbacks I found with most of them. First of all, some of them, they just look like weapons. They're designed to look super tactical to get people to buy them. TSA is not going to let them through. Chances are real, real high they're going to say, sorry, you're not taking that on the plane. Here's one, for example, that looks to me like a weapon. Okay, it's pointy. It's straight up pointy. That's not the pin. That's the cap. The cap, actually, this is the cap. You got to unscrew it. That friction fits on there, and then you can write with it. So, but that looks like a stabber to me. It looks like a weapon. So probably not going to get on TSA with it. You might, but the other thing that I really didn't like about this and many others is, you saw what I just had to do. If I want to use this pen to write my name, to sign in somewhere, or do something, I got to take this cap off, hold it, or stick it on here, right? Go through this process again. Man, I don't like doing that. It's just a hassle if I got to write my name or sign something. Like I pick up packages from UPS, I have to sign a little sheet. That's a hassle. So that's one problem. Another problem is they try to cram too much stuff on there. They all got to have all these extra features on there because for some reason people think, okay, I get the more features, the more people are going to like it. Like this one from Strade I had a while back. I think it had a ferro rod in it. I don't know what that's gone now. In this end, it fell out. It's got a whistle on it. And again, unscrew the cap to use the pin. I never carried this one because I didn't like that. Other ones are they're too big. Look how big this thing is. Look at this one from Olight. It's big and it has a flashlight on it. It's supposed to be a flashlight, a LED flashlight. And it's heavy. It's got a battery in it. Just don't like it. Don't like it. This one from Gerber. I like this one. It's a push button, so you don't have to unscrew any caps, but it has a little carbide glass breaker here. And it looks, I mean, look at it. It looks like it's designed to look tactical. And I don't know if the TSA would let this through. I haven't tried because I didn't want to get it confiscated because it's a pretty good pin, but again, super tactical looking. And then finally, I liked this one. It's bolt action, so I like the bolt action design. I think that's probably better to me than a push button because that push button kind of can hurt your finger if you're having to use this thing like a hammer fist like that, and you have to hit some bone or something, or you're trying to hit a pressure point with it. But you see by the way, this one fell apart, but that kind of concentrates that down. I don't like that rounded back there. So because that does it focuses that force. But I like this one better than many of them. And then finally, this so far has been kind of the favorite one I looked at for a while. This one is the Zebra F701, and it's a very low budget pen. It's stainless. It's also very lightweight, pretty tough. But again, it's got this push button here, and I've tried it impacting stuff, and that hurts your finger. That'll put, at least it hurts my thumb. Maybe my thumbs are sensitive. And you can see it is a budget pen. This thing sprung out here, so. And it's not working too good either. Apparently, oh, there it is. Okay, so those are some of the cons and negatives. Oh, and one more thing. I don't have an example, but for some reason, several of them I looked at had what they call a DNA collector on it. And it was some kind of little sharp things that were designed to actually, collect skin and make people bleed. And like, look, in my opinion, okay, and I'm not any sort of an expert on hand-to-hand combat, but first of all, I don't want to collect DNA. I don't care. You keep your DNA, okay? I just want to get away. No DNA, just get away. But in my opinion, one of the good big advantages of having something like this is not just as an impact tool, but as a pressure point tool for pain compliance or pain release. If somebody comes on and puts you in a choke, there's some pressure points here. You can stop them. If you have something sharp enough, you can focus that energy in a pressure point. And if you know where it is, you got to do a little training. But it gives you a really good way. Here's a good pressure point. There's some in your wrist that you can just make somebody let you go. Make somebody leave you alone. And then if you need to poke them with it, you can. So in my opinion, that's a more likely use of this as a self-defense tool. But the most likely use of this is going to be to write stuff down. Let me show you how this thing works. So it is a bolt action pen, which means this comes down and goes into a little loop there. And it's really easy to do it one-handed. You just go, boom, it's open. And you can see there's the pen, the ink, and then it just pops back in. Really solid pocket clip here, very, very well-made machine. And focus, grasshopper. Nice flat top. Let's show you how well it writes. As you can tell, obviously, you can tell really good when I'm writing, somebody else is doing it, right? It does write really smoothly. But this pen, I saved the best for last. It has another feature that none of the other pens I've looked at ever had. This is made of copper. Not just any copper, but, let me get this right, Cuvero copper alloy, which is an EPA-registered anti-microbial copper. It is proven to kill 99.9% of bacteria, continuously sanitizes itself, and will never lose its bacteria-killing properties. So this thing stays clean. If it gets bacteria on it, whether somebody uses your pen or somebody coughs on your pen or whatever, it's going to kill that bacteria. Let's talk about the specs. This thing is 5.5 inches long. Body diameter is 3/8 of an inch. It weighs 2 ounces, so it's not too heavy, not too light. To me, that's like a really perfect usable weight. The ink insert is a Smith Easy Flow 9000. That's available all over the internet in different colors and I guess find a wide tips or whatever. Made in the USA in Fort Worth, Texas, and the MSRP on this is $125, which is not a cheap pen, granted, but this is a pen that will theoretically last you your entire life. You just might have to put some refills in it. It's also a pen that I don't believe is going to cause any eyes to raise anywhere in TSA or anything else. It's just a pen. It doesn't look all super tactical. It just looks like a pen. It actually looks like a promotional pen from Excess Sights. Got a nice flat back on it, so when you put your thumb on it, there's no it disperses that weight evenly, and you could use it like this, you could use it like this, or you could certainly use it like this, and it just works. I think this is, again, this is a tool that you can have with you that you're going to use for normal use, but in a pinch, it could enhance your capabilities for self-defense.
Chuck Norris walks in other people's sleep.
That's it. If you've been looking at the for a good EDC tool to have with you, again, not cheap, but extremely well made, made in the USA, and this is one of those buy once, cry once deals. But Excess Sights bolt action EDC pen absolutely rocks the house. Thanks again to the folks at Excess Sights for sending me this so I can show it to you. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.